Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Well, Tasmania has recorded its highest number of active COVID cases since the beginning of the pandemic, as a more transmissible strain wreaks havoc across the state. The Royal Hobart Hospital escalated its management plan late yesterday to cope with demand, as public health prepares for another contagious disease.
With an impending flu season lingering around COVID conversation, the Premier believes Tasmania is ready to combat new challenges.
As we head into the cooler month season, there has been a significant amount of work that's been undertaken to ensure we're COVID ready and also flu ready.
A winter strategy centred around prevention, detection and treatment of illness is part of that work, as the prominent BA2 strain hikes up the daily caseload.
This variant has an edge on its ability to spread, and it seems to spread about 30%, maybe 50% more easily than the original strain of Omicron.
One age cohort in particular being hit hard.
In the last week or so, an increase in the number of people in their 60s and older being diagnosed, and those are the people who are more at risk of complications of COVID.
Surging infections has now forced the Royal Hobart Hospital to escalate its COVID management plan.
We have across the state 315 staff that are infected either by COVID or impacted as a close contact.
Under the Royal Hobart escalation, elective surgery will be scaled back along with other measures aimed at freeing up resources. The changes come just 10 days after the management plan was downgraded to level 1.
I'm absolutely confident that we are doing everything we can to recruit, to maintain and to really work with our health workforce to make sure that we can provide the right healthcare for Tasmania.
Meanwhile, the opposition believes cracks are beginning to appear elsewhere, calling for a solid plan to manage classroom outbreaks.
I'm hearing already of schools that are struggling to get relief teachers. Where are the 1,700 teachers that Peter Gutwin claimed ready to walk into these schools?
The government standing firmly in its approach.
In the discussions that I've been having with education, their plans are well advanced, and at this stage I see no major concerns at all.
No changes to density limits or the Check-in Tas app have been made. Public Health continues to actively review restrictions. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
The Greens are pledging to use their numbers in the Senate to secure more federal funding for Tasmania's public hospitals. The party will demand more than $500 million, also calling for the Commonwealth to move to a 50-50 funding model with the states. Their candidate for Braddon, who is an emergency doctor, says the situation is critical.
As an emergency doctor, the frustrations of long waiting times for patients as we are stopped from seeing people because we haven't got beds.
But the only way to fix that is with a big injection of funding into public health, and that's what the Greens, in balance of power in the Senate, will use our leverage to demand.
Nearly $68 million would also be committed to eliminate elective surgery wait lists. The Huon Valley Council has a new mayor after Beck Enders sensationally quit the role late this afternoon. In a statement, Ms Enders has confirmed she will stand down from the position immediately. Deputy Mayor Sally Doyle will take over until local government elections are held in October. The change follows a tumultuous 12 months for the council, which faced ratepayer backlash over its recruitment processes. Well, 2 Tasmanian teachers who fled Ukraine's capital Kyiv have shared an emotional reunion with their family at Hobart Airport this afternoon. The pair was forced to cross into Romania on foot after tensions from Russian forces began to escalate. A repatriation flight was organised by the state government to help the Huonville couple get back home, but it's been a long journey to reach safety.
The Russians bombed the town as we were leaving on the train. Train windows had to be blocked and closed, so you couldn't see any of the lights from the train at night time.
The educators plan to return to the country to help with the rebuild, remaining fearful for students and friends who are stuck in the war zone and pleading with governments to do all they can to protect the innocent citizens. One of the state's pioneering planes has returned to its rightful place, hoisted above the Launceston airport lobby. Miss Flinders was retired long ago, but the crucial link to the islands lives on as they battle to bring back tourists.
The grandmother of Tasmanian aviation takes to the skies once more.
It represents a pioneering spirit that of the islands that I think is very appropriate for the space.
Miss Flinders was hoisted above the lobby last century. On its 90th birthday, it's now returning permanently. The DeSutter Mark II monoplane was the first plane to service Flinders Island in the 30s.
It had no brakes, it had no flaps. They landed on grass runways. The comfort factor in the cockpit was pretty basic.
It's really important for Miss Flinders to be here because of the historical context of aviation in northern Tasmania and Launceston particularly.
The airport still services the islands, and Sharp Airlines says their passenger numbers are steadily building back up.
The Tasmanian Liberal Government's been underpinning flights to the Bass Strait Islands throughout the recovery phase.
Travel vouchers to entice visitors will also be active between May and July. The help is particularly needed on King Island after tourists disappeared when public health advised against travelling there due to COVID.
The impact of that was profound, and we saw literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of cancellations happen in a really short period.
But with support now in place,
people are feeling relatively positive about the future of tourism on the island. They are a resilient bunch. The island folk are built that way.
Building back up their tourism industry. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
A high school initiative is helping spark interest in industries in the northwest which are suffering from skills shortages. The Beacon Foundation's High Impact program links up business mentors with students, preparing them for the world of work.
These business mentors went down memory lane today.
You know, cleaning, all that sort of stuff, but I love the customer service.
Sharing an insight into their successful careers and the potential prospects for school leavers.
In manufacturing, there's definitely a shortage of tradespeople, so there is a big focus on apprentices and sort of working them up through the business. That's just the way it is at the moment. We're always looking.
The group represents some of Burnie's booming sectors.
We're talking about agriculture, we're talking about tourism, we're talking about renewable energy, all wonderful opportunities for young people in and around the Burnie region.
But also brand new types of industries with renewable energy, with Marinus coming ashore here at Burnie with a hydrogen energy industry on the horizon. This is an exciting time to be a young person growing up in Burnie.
The Beacon Foundation, which has been operating in Tasmania for 30 years, runs intensive one-day sessions with high school students across the state, igniting passion and pathways for life after school.
It prepares you about job opportunities and that you really take those opportunities, and it opens a door for students who don't know what they want to be in the future yet.
We're learning about our posture and our body language in the interviews on how to act.
The evidence suggests that if young people can have 4 or more meaningful engagements with an industry representative, then they're 86% more likely to go on to a pathway, which could be further education, training or employment.
The state government is providing just over $2 million over 2 years to the Beacon Foundation so it can continue delivering its school-based and placement programs. LETITIA Wallace, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, despite the cancellation of national carnivals, the New Horizons Inclusion Cricket team, made up of players with an intellectual disability, have taken on students at Launceston Grammar. Although disappointed they haven't had the chance to compete interstate in recent years, players took to the game with gusto. Wicket keeper JORDYN Blizzard whacked a 6 onto the school's roof.
Pretty wicked feeling, so you don't have to run, nothing like that, so always a positive.
Selectors for the national inclusion side have been keeping an eye on local players over the summer. The Northwest Primary School was among many across the state stamping out bullying for a National Day of Action. Montello Primary School students spread kindness, creating a banner against bullying with dozens of handcrafted love hearts attached.
Make sure you say something kind today, I guess. Just always try your best to be kind. I know it's hard sometimes, but we're just going to try our best some days. Yeah.
We've had a reduction in bullying over the last 5 years every single year. Our student wellbeing data has given us that information, and our suspension data is reducing every single year as well.
Almost $900,000 of state government funds have been allocated to a trauma program for Term 2.
Premier League hockey starts the season the way it finished last year, with the men's and women's grand finalists clashing this weekend. Derwent won the men's title in thrilling fashion. However, the club says its attention is now fully focused on going back-to-back.
Sticks at the ready, desperate to get the season underway. Hobart's best hockey players are keen to put their pre-season moves into practice.
We've had a pretty strong off-season, so just see how it goes and hopefully the season goes within our favour.
Given the last couple of years of challenges we've had around COVID, this is a really nice reset for us.
Grand final rematches between Derwent and OHA in both competitions headline round one. OHA has lost 2 premiership players, but they're confident in their signings.
Oh, but that's gone in. We've also recruited some up-and-comers, so hopefully they'll get the job done, and we've got a strong side as well, so it's all good.
Also wary of an opponent looking for redemption.
They'll come out hard and we'll just have to try and match it.
Derwent won last year's men's title in a thriller against OHA. That dramatic shootout, however, is now history.
It felt great winning in the manner we did in such a close way, but everyone's moved on pretty quickly.
Derwent also in an unusual position of having a new coach in Nick Tremaine.
No one's really disagreed with what he wants. Everyone understands the game plan, everyone understands what the group's about.
Also new is the league's naming right partner. Salters Hire signing a multi-year deal.
My daughter plays, she enjoys it. I love coming here watching her play. And for us to be involved with grassroots hockey is, from our point of view, a natural step.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmanian News.
Victory has slipped through the Tigers' fingers in their Sheffield Shield clash. Victoria held on for a 2-wicket win after Tasmania dropped Todd Murphy in the dying stages. The very next ball, Victoria hit the winning runs.
And it's gone through that it might go all the way to the boundary. What a way to win it for Victoria.
Tasmania made 209 in its second innings, defending a 230-run margin. The Tigers will finish their Shield season in Hobart next week against Queensland. Basketball royalty from the Tassie Devils days is back in the state. BRUTON led the Devils in 1992, quickly becoming a fan favourite. He admits he's surprised with how well the Jack Jumpers have taken off, despite COVID interrupting the side's lead into the season.
It's been unbelievably successful. I didn't think as a new team coming in that they would have that success so early.
Self-anointed as the Black Pearl, BRUTON says the loss of the Devils hurt deeply at the time, but he believes Tassie's NBL reincarnation has shattered the North-South divide and has the AFL on notice.
The Jack Jumpers got a hold on it now. And the way they're promoting and getting all their players out there in the community, in the schools and in the corporates. I went to the pre-game functions and, oh my goodness, it was all set up wonderfully well.
BRUTON is in Tasmania to launch the NTFA season tonight. Olympia and South Hobart are opening both the NPL and Women's Super League tonight. Olympia's women's side has had a major shake-up after an exodus of 11 players from last season. Their coach is confident this year's squad will gel quickly.
They're all working together and all bonding well, and the experience is bringing on the youth, and that's what we have to do is blood the youth.
In the men's, South Hobart is on a high after winning the Summer Cup. The man who scored the winning goal in the final is confident they can be a contender.
If we play the way we want to and we get the results that we need to get, then we'll be right up there in the top 3 for sure.
The NPL match kicks off at 8 p.m. Local netball has received a boost with Hobart announced as the host of this year's National Championships in April. Meanwhile, the Tasmanian Netball League returns to the court this weekend with 2 rounds of fixtures to be played on Saturday and Sunday. Cavaliers will begin their premiership defence against Arrows at Kingborough Sports Centre tomorrow, while runner-up Northern Hawks will play Karana. And after Bulldogs coach Luke Beveridge's big spray during the week, tonight's Friday flashback is to Strawn's world record spray, where 145 water skiers were towed behind a single boat. 7 failed attempts were finally overcome when the record was broken not once but twice. The water ski dream began in 2008 when 100 hopefuls tried to make history. Their goal was to break a 20-year-old record for the most water skiers towed behind a single boat. The first go failed when the boom snapped. They tried again the next day after some backyard repairs, but it snapped again. What followed was the same old story, 7 failed attempts over 3 years.
We really need to get it. We really need to get it.
The reporting repeated too.
Determined as ever to have another crack at it. Determination to have another crack at it.
Hope never faded. And as the morning sun broke in March 2010,
this is it!
The world record was about to tumble as skiers held on to stay upright over 1 nautical mile.
Hang on, you buggers!
The previous mark was set at 100 skiers. This effort smashed it. 114! Screams of joy and big hugs on the beach, but the water warriors still weren't satisfied, coming back 2 years later to break their own record. In a sight to behold, 145 skiers stood tall on Macquarie Harbour to put the record to bed.
This is it for us. We are now officially hanging up the skis and saying we're done.
A famous feat for Strawn's Horsehead Water Ski Club and for Tasmania in the Guinness World Records. And I love their determination to have another crack at it.
Indeed, Tom. Thanks very much.
Good evening. Low head out top today with 24 degrees. Hobart 18, the northern centres all 23. Temperatures did slip below average over the east, south and west. Flinders Island 21 degrees, King Island, Friendly Beaches and Bushy Park 20. Strawn and Grove 19, St Helens 18 degrees. No significant rain today as cumulus cloud over the north, south and east. Fairly clear over the central and west. Convective cloud is evident over northern and eastern Australia. The southerly airstream brought the cloud to southern Victoria. The next cold front there south of WA, brewing up a fair bit of cloud. Tomorrow a high surrounds Tasmania, extending a ridge up over the east coast. The cold front moves over the bight with troughs and lows over the mainland. East northeasterly winds increasing to 20 to 30 knots over the northwest later. Swells at 3.5 metres. A strong wind warning exists for that bit between Sandy Cape and Stanley. A minor flood warning for the South Esk River. Here's how the weekend's shaping up. Hobart mostly sunny tomorrow and 22 degrees, 23 for Medina, sunny for Oatlands, 21 the maximum, fairly cool night. Temperatures down to 4 and 5 degrees. 8 overnight for Launceston, sunny tomorrow and 24, 19 the top for Devonport, sunny for Lyowini, 19 as well. Burnie expecting a sunny 19 degrees, 22 for Strawn and Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow completing the picture of a fine day, 19. Swansea 20 along with Orford. UV no surprises at 7 and high. On Sunday fine and partly cloudy apart from the chance of a shower over the far south. A fine start to Monday before a shower develops around Burnie and later for other parts of the west. And on Tuesday showers over the west and far south extending statewide during the day. Cloudy in Perth tomorrow, a warm sunny day in Adelaide and Melbourne, showers easing from Sydney, a possible storm for Darwin. Partly cloudy in Hobart, current temperature 16 degrees, it's 19 right now in Launceston, and partly cloudy in Devonport, 18. Kim.
Thank you, Murph. Short and sweet. And that is all your news for now. Louise will join you over the weekend. Good night.